Caitlin Clark's return, lads. Caitlin Clark's return. On ABC, nationally televised game.
Guys, Caitlin Clark is officially back, okay, for the Indiana Fever. Guys, the Indiana Fever just gave the freaking New York Liberty their first L. Their first L of the season. I was wondering, I'm like, who is it going to...
Caitlin Clark just dropped 32 points like it was pocket change. And guess who got slapped with the receipt? The undefeated Liberty. That's right, the Indiana Fever just woke up and chose violence was a game or a one-woman revenge tour of the basketball. Either way, Caitlin brought the heat to sass and the scoreboard shattering drama stick around. Because what went down wasn't just a win, it was a monster movie, and Clark played every role.
Back again. Caitlin's back. Tell Caitlin Clark Kent back in action. Where do I even start? 32 points, 9 assists, 8 rebounds, 2 blocks, 7 threes, 11 for 20 in only 31 minutes of basketball. The Indiana Fever say, come on, New York. Come on. Somebody's got to give you this first L, and I guess it's going to be us.
Caitlin Clark didn't just show up to the court. She showed up with sniper vision, a rocket launcher for an arm, and a casual disregard for the rules of physics. She pulled up from 30 foot. Like it was nothing scratched that more like 30 yards at this point someone should check if she's accidentally wandered in from an NFL training camp. Because those shots were coming from another zip code, and they weren't D-157 Esperate prayers, they were precision airstrikes with zero remorse.
That's how you feel, Caitlin, after missing 4 games from a quad injury? That's how you feel when you come back? What the hell did we just watch? Caitlin Clark in her absolute Birkin, able to get her team a victory over the undefeated New York Liberty. Let's talk about it. So as I discussed before, Caitlin Clark, this is her first game back in 4 or 5 games after dealing with the quad injury. And she did not disappoint. Came out with 32 points, 9 assists, 8 rebounds, almost a triple-double. But 7 3-pointers, y'all. And she was hitting them from 40 feet. Like, she was literally shooting from anywhere.
32 points, let that sink, and that's not a basketball performance. That's a solo Broadway show with a full house. And every act ends with a swish. She tied her career high in threes. And looked bored doing it blink. And she's already pulling up from the logo like it's a warm-up drill. Meanwhile, the Liberty, those formerly undefeated darlings of the WNBA, were busy trying to figure out if they were actually in a game or just extras in the Caitlin Clark experience.
And most elite performances we have ever seen from Caitlin Clark. Now, I got to remind everybody about this. Caitlin Clark is coming off an injury, bro. What we seen today was greatness. This was similar to the Michael Jordan flu game. I mean, it's up there type deal, bro. Caitlin Clark just handed the New York Liberty the ass whooping of a lifetime. And what's crazy about all of this is that the referees couldn't even save them. See, last time the referees was able to save New York and they walked away with the victory.
And then somewhere far, far away in the same building, Angel Reese was doing her usual routine. You know, collecting rebounds like she's hoarding them for winter. Res pounding, tossing the ball in the air like she just don't care. 10 rebounds, 4 points, and enough posing to qualify for a modeling contract. But if you ask her, she's still the main event, the crown jewel.
All right, guys, Caitlin Clark is back in the WNBA today, and I could not be happier. And to start off the game with the New York Liberty, she is putting on a show. First clip we're going to watch here is Sabrina Ionescu missing a 3 because she wants to be Caitlin and she just isn't. And look at this dime of a pass. Oh my gosh, can you just be a quarterback already? But then it gets better. Caitlin goes on a 9-0 run by herself within the span of 50 seconds.
The face of the league, never mind that Caitlin just lit up the court like a fireworks finale on the 4th of July. Angel's busy reminding everyone that she brings a flavor. Here's the hilarious part. Reese is out here moving like a walking double-double ego and hustle. But the scoreboard forgot to invite her to the celebration. Her shot chart looks like a horror movie read all over and nothing falling. She's under the rim tossing up bricks like she's laying a foundation for a new stadium. But hey, she got rebounds, the kind of rebounds that scream, "Don't worry, team, I got the miss again." It's like Caitlin's playing chess in 5D and Angel's over here playing hungry hippos with rebounds. And yet Angel keeps talking like she's got the WNBA wrapped around her perfectly manicured finger. She keeps insisting that she's bringing eyes to the league that is not just Caitlyn, which is technically true, because yes, people are watching to see Caitlyn torch the court, while Angel slow dances with the glass. The real question is, are those eyes tuning in for the buckets or for the drama? Because Clark's feeding a Steph Curry range, while Ree is serving up WWE energy with zero offensive highlights to match two.
288, we finally hit triple digits thanks to CC22. Caitlin Clark, folks, 3 threes in 38 seconds in the first half. Caitlin Clark hit 3 logo bombs, by the way. 3 logo bombs in 38 seconds. This was the Caitlin Clark we all said, oh, she's different. She's sent from outer space. The Caitlin Clark that we saw today was the Caitlin Clark that we were accustomed to seeing. Oh, it feels...
There's a difference between being talked about and being watched. Caitlin Clark is watched every game, every shot, every time she crosses half court. And defenders collectively hold their breath like they're on a roller coaster. Angel Reese, she's talked about for antics, for posing for her rivalry with Caitlyn. That feels more like a one-sided diary entry at this point. Let's face it, you can't slap together some rebounds, sprinkle in a scowl, and call it. Superstardom, the game, still matters a scoreboard. Still matters a shot clock. Doesn't pause for attitude. Caitlin Clark didn't just show up, she dominated. She wasn't padding stats. She was shattering narratives. Meanwhile, Ree was out there like a motivational speaker, trapped in a power forward's body, preaching her importance while missing layups like it was a paid hobby. Caitlin's threes were demoralizing, not just for the Liberty, but for anyone who thought this girl was going to fade into the background after that rough start to her rookie season. Oh no, now she's warmed up now. She's figured out the passes are sharper, the spacing is tighter. And the shots, they're absurd. We're talking long-range artillery, stiff-level bombs from so far out the ball as to file a flight plan. Every time Caitlin launched, it was like time froze. The crowd held its breath. Defenders flinched and commentators lost their collective minds. You don't get that kind of reaction unless you're box office.
You look at that. Caitlin Clark putting another game together that proves that she is the reason why people are watching the WNBA. And definitely not because of Angel Reese. In her very first game back from injury, she puts up 32, 8, and 9. Okay? Super close to a triple-double on over 50% shooting from the field and 50% shooting from the three-point line. And not only did she have a great performance, but she also led her team to a 14-point victory, so not even a close game, against a team that was previously undefeated and arguably the best team in the WNBA on her first game back.
Meanwhile, Angel could make a shot, and the crowd might still be mid-scroll on their phones. That's not superstardom. That's background noise. Let's talk swagger. Caitlin's got that silent, deadly type to kind where she drops a deep three and jogs back like she's thinking about dinner. She's got enough bravado. The power of a small nation. But the numbers don't lie. You can't strut your way out of a single-digit scoring column and pretend it's dominant. You can't flex after every missed jumper and expect people to buy the illusion. Caitlin's confidence is backed by buckets. Reese's is backed by branding. And there's a massive difference. Caitlin isn't just making noise. She's making history, rookie records. She's rewriting them viewership numbers. She's boosting them. She's putting the basketball in women's basketball. Meanwhile, Angel Reese is running the best PR campaign the scoreboard has never heard of. If marketing were a stat, she'd be averaging 40. But we're watching the games, not just the pressers. And the gap is widening. Caitlin Clark is evolving game by game, slicing up defenses, turning defenders into traffic cones, and dragging the Indiana Fever from laughingstock to giant slayer passes. Are surgical. Her movement is elite. Her confidence is radioactive. And she does it all while carrying the weight of league's expectations and half the country's eyeballs. Angel Reese, she's still boxing out like the rim owes her money and shooting like the ball's allergic to nylon.
Is under fire from the Chicago Sky general manager. The general manager names Angel Reese by name and says, we need more out of you. Now I'm scrolling through Twitter, doing my thing. You guys know how I do. Got the air breezing through my hair in those Twitter streets. I do. And I take a look and I see something that catches my attention. The Chicago Sky make a request to Angel Reese amid losing streak. Interesting. What is this request? Let's
But sure, let's keep pretending it's a rivalry. Let's pretend this is Ollie v. Frazier, when really it's more like Caitlin Clark versus her own potential, because that's her biggest competition. At this point, her self-esteem keeps rising. And so, she's not just raising the bar, she's turning into a launch pad. Meanwhile, Angel's still stuck on the ground floor waving from the rebound pile. It's hilarious, really, the constant reminders that it's not just Caitlin have started to sound like the jealous cousin at a birthday party who insists their gift was better, even though everyone's crowding around Caitlin's highlight reel. It's not that Angel doesn't matter, it's that her claim to the throne feels premature. You can't declare yourself royalty if the scoreboard keeps saying otherwise. Caitlin didn't ask to be the face of the WNBA. She earned it shot win by gritty. Even when Indiana was losing, people still watched, because she was doing things no rookie had any business doing. Now she's winning and doing it while taking down the top team in the league with a casual 32. Going mic drop, Angel Reese might be good for headlines. Caitlin Clark is good for the game. So yes, it's not just Caitlin who brings eyes to the WNBA, but let's be honest, she's the reason most people stay. Apparently, Caitlin Clark had been out for 4 straight games, so that's practically a basketball eternity. Enough time to reset, recharge. Maybe even pick up a new hobby, like demolishing elite WNBA teams for fun.
The long ball at a very, very high efficiency rate today, 7 for 14 from long distance, shooting 50%. I'm not going to lie, shooting the three-pointer 14 times is wild in one game. But listen, when you hitting it like that, why not? Lexi Hall, another decent game from her, 14 points, shooting 50% from the field. And then we have Aaliyah Boston with 10 points, 11 boards, and 6 assists. Another almost triple-double for her. Great bounce-back game for Indiana because they have severely been struggling without Caitlin. Child, I know they're happy she's back on that floor because they look like a completely different team when she's in her.
And what does she do after a mini vacation? She strolls back like she never left and immediately torches the undefeated Liberty like they were a junior varsity. Experiment, she didn't come back rusty, she came back radioactive. If anything to break, just gave her time to sharpen her laser-guided threes and fine-tune her mid-air wizardry. And while Caitlin was reintroducing herself like a polite hurricane, Angel Reese was still out here, collecting rebounds like Pokemon cards and tossing up layups that bounce off the rim like they're allergic to going. There's levels to this game, and Caitlin's on a different continent. Angel's out there fighting for table scraps in the paint, while Caitlin's casually launching bombs from the suburbs, sipping espresso, and asking defenders if they even want to be here. Let's not sugarcoat it. The so-called Reese versus Clark rivalry, it's fiction fairy tale, a marketing myth cooked up in a boardroom by someone who's clearly never watched a full quarter, because when you see them play, it's crystal clear Caitlin Clark isn't competing with Angel Reese. She's not even looking in that direction, and she's too busy rearranging the WNBA hierarchy 130-yard three-pointer. At a time, Reese might talk like she's in the ring with Caitlin, but the truth is she's barely in the same arena. Caitlin is out here making professionals look like practice cones. She's dropping passes on a dime, controlling the tempo like a conductor with a grudge, and hitting shots that defy logic. Meanwhile, Angel's still figuring out how to finish a putback without tripping over her own narrative.
People who've been unjustly maligned in history, I feel like it's 1-2 for me. I'm not sure who's first and who's second, but it's pretty clearly Angel Reese and Jesus Christ. How does Angel Reese handle it? If you don't want the criticism, maybe consider what the behavior is. Because is this kind of criticism directed at everybody? Or is this a very special, specific kind of criticism that Angel Reese gets because of specifically the way she comports herself? And if her crown is heavy, maybe BET should stop giving her crowns. For the 3rd straight year, named BET Sportswoman of the Year. I haven't even known who Angel Reese was for 3 years. How the f*** does she have 3 of these?
And let's be honest, if this were a rivalry, it would at least be close, but this is more like a roast. Caitlin Clark is the roast master, and Angel Reese is a confused guest wondering why the spotlight keeps burning her. It's not that Angel isn't good. She's got grit, she hustles, she sweats. But Caitlin is great not just in terms of skill, but in how she takes over games like a hostile takeover. She doesn't just score, she dictates. Reality, there's a brutal comedy to it all. Reese puts up a 10-point double-double and does 3 press tours about her impact. Caitlin drops 32 like it's a TikTok trend and jogs off the court like she's late for lunch. The difference in output is as glaring as the difference in mindset. Caitlin's playing chess with a sniper scope. Reese is still fumbling with the checkers box. Even their impact on the court tells a story when Caitlin's on a whole team, elevates the fever play faster, cleaner, and more Dangerous, she doesn't just score, she bends gravity draws. Attention and creates space like she invented basketball geometry. And when she's off the court, the Fever limp along like they're waiting for their Uber driver to show up with their leader Reese on the other hand. Could grab 20 rebounds and still disappear from the game flow like a bad Wi-Fi signal. She racks up board and swagger. But the actual impact, you like buying a luxury car and realizing there's no engine under the hood looks flashy makes. Noise doesn't go far to reality, is this Caitlin makes. Angel Reese looked like a schoolgirl cosplaying as a superstar. She's outclassed, outpaced, outperformed in nearly every meaningful metric.